today we're going to be playing a fun, innocent game.
Then that bastard left me and it was go time. He wasn't an easy target to put down. It really made me think about the future. But forget all that. We're here to loot. We're here to collect every single little thing that I could see. I was right next to spawn. I was right next to where I spawned. I didn't go anywhere. I actually just have been wandering around the same area for like hours. And when I turned in, the next day would come.
And that next day came. And with that next day, I placed scented candles to make my place smell less like pee. You know the pee you're watching right now? That's taking an uncomfortably long period of time for you to witness? That pee. Then I checked the fog reader to see that everything's Gucci. I'd step outside and then find some random man carrying a barbed wire baseball bat. That bat would be my bat. My new weapon, because this axe was only good for cutting trees. So with our new bat in hand, I travel on, looting, grabbing, breaking, looting, grabbing, and then checking the fog meter. And then I go back to that RV that the map originally said I should go to. I'd go behind the RV, travel down that little narrow path, and then I'd find a grave. I'd ignore that grave because the sniper rifle thing's important. Not the grave, the sniper rifle that I don't own. I'd find this semi-truck, I'd go to it, and find another map! You see that? That's exactly what I was looking for. Another confusing thing for me to figure out. I'd then get lost and find myself at the highway, the one from the first video, and then I'd find the dead guy. He was ugly, and then I'd loot some more. Then I'd follow the map, and I'd find that building from earlier. You know the one I said wasn't important? See, I had to go behind that truck, and I didn't go down the ladder, and yeah, now I had to go down the ladder.
What the fuck?
It seemed like someone had taken a nice little chunk out of our friend here. We found a nice thing that gave us another indicator of where we should go next, and quite frankly, I didn't understand it. It was just a picture of a house. I'd climb out of the truck, and then I'd hop out of the truck, and then walk. Yeah, this was actually the correct way. I didn't go all the way at first. I heard some weird stuff, and then look at these guys. See, they were no match for me and my new baseball bat, in which I'd slugger them away. Look at that. Ew. This guy, though? They must have built him different, because he took so many crossbow hits, I was starting to doubt the integrity of this crossbow. But he was no match. Then I found the benefits of baseball bats versus giant beetles. They're axe resistant, but not bat resistant. I traveled the end of the highway just because I was still trying to find a sense of where I was supposed to be going. And then I saw it. The piss lakes. That's right. There were lakes so vast, full of pee. And then I saw the floating sacks. What were those? So I left. I climbed another tower. It's a different tower. It's not the first tower. Just try to get a lay of the land again. Try to figure out where was I actually supposed to be going. So then I pulled out the map. I looked at the picture and then tried to match the biome to the picture. I took a little pee break, and I think I knew where to go. I followed that dirt road I was just on earlier, and it was a long road. It's a very long road. I also sniped this guy. Not right there, but like right here. This game was doing a lot of making me walk everywhere, but that was fine. That was fine. We did finally start to encounter some enemies on the road, though. And we took care of them very easily. Let's be real though, this is the pee game. Whenever we see an opportunity to take a pee break, you gotta take it. You gotta take the pee break, it's important. We then finally approached our destination. A house with a single garage. As we approached it and got closer, we didn't see any signs of a carrier or anything, but we did find a new picture to look at and new coordinates. And then we found something interesting. A pee-powered go-kart. That's right, this go-kart was powered by pee. Now the thing was, of course I was gonna need a lot of pee, and that meant many trips, because I already peed a second ago. And it was... That's right. That's right. You need refined pee to power it. But I didn't have refined pee, I just had what was ever in that lake back there, so... Just by driving, the convenience of it... Oh, hold on. Just the convenience of driving, I was creating pee clouds that was going to make the world more dangerous. And this is something I risked, because I needed some sort of whip to get myself around again. It burnt through pee real quickly, though, and I was going to need a lot more pee than I was producing. Thankfully, the world just had a lot of pee lakes around that I could conveniently walk to. Oh, then I was shot at. You know what we do to people who shoot at us? We violently assault them! We take them down! Put them in the dirt! And after all the violence was over, I drive back home. We finally did it. We got ourselves a replacement vehicle for the station wagon we crashed earlier. Look at it. That's a whip. I admired the subtleties and differences of the metal frame. I then went inside. I'd close up, check the fog meter, and it went up. I'd pee again, and then I'd say goodnight to my house, beginning the next day. The next day came, and it was time to start looting again. We made some story progress, but I had to really improve this base. We were getting shot at and attacked left and right. All these monsters just kept showing up. It's like they just wanted to eat me or something. So, I figured I'd fortify the upstairs too, because... Well, now it's self-explanatory. I was getting attacked by bugs. And, of course I'd forget to pee right when I wake up. So I was making more clouds, making the world more dangerous for myself. I didn't even realize it. And I found the specimen. A beautiful creature. I call them Thickums. Thickums the pea beast. But I had to put Thickums down. Thickums and I couldn't coexist in a world together. So I beat the shit out of him until he died. And, you know, he didn't really feel that threatening. He just kind of took it and died like that. And it was over. Until it wasn't! I was gonna be attacked by bugs and random passerbys for the next 15-ish minutes. It was just awful. Always batting away. And then you know what would happen next?
What the... Get off of me!
I'd be sneak attacked by more bugs! What's going on? And then this guy shows up, like, oh, look at me, I have a chainsaw. Oh. So, you know, I had to put him down. I just, you know, can't coexist with these guys. They're just everywhere. They're not even protecting themselves from the pee. They got these hazmat suits, and then they just come at you with a chainsaw, like you just, oh, you're a tree. No, I'm not. I'm a person. Get wrecked. With the area for the most part clear, I would start to focus on doing basic improvements to the house and just trying to gather as much loot as I can. There was a trailer park close by, so I figured my next goal would be to loot the crap out of that. The pea fog hadn't gone down, but I was gonna take the risk, looting every single trailer I could, just to try to get as much supplies as I could to make the next section of the game that much easier.
after my looting session, I'd return home, further improving my base where I could, and then we'd look at a schematic for a pea refinery thing. It refined pea into fuel, and of course I didn't have the resources, so I was gonna have to go back out. A thing to help me with that is I was gonna have to find a way to produce more pea, so I built rain catchers to give me water so I could produce pea faster, because drinking from the lakes, not really ideal. I tried it and it poisoned me a little bit, so in order to avoid dying a quick death, water purifiers and rain catchers were going to have to be my go-to route, because I didn't have the supplies to build an oven, and I didn't really see a schematic for it. Yeah. I was still being attacked left and right. The fog was having an adverse effect on my day-to-day looting sesh. Then I placed down a little farm because there were things that I needed to grow in order to actually produce other things like a clock. I wanted to keep track of time in my base improvements so it'd be easier to figure out when I should do what when. And yeah, the planner was supposed to help. I'd then go try to find the coordinates. It was going to be a little bit of a travel, so I disposed of my pea, checked the pea fog, looked somewhat clear, and I didn't see any enemies nearby, but it almost felt safer not to produce more pea fog, so as soon as I had the chance, I was going to walk there instead of using our new go-kart. So I do my parameter check, and then that's when I saw her. She was innocent. She didn't even unload a gun at me. Usually they'd mag dump at me the second they saw me. It was a woman. I'd been alone for so long. I didn't know how to talk to a woman. What was I gonna say to her? Maybe she'd be my friend. Maybe we could, I don't know, rebuild civilization or something. It was a thought that crossed my mind for a while. The future. What it would be like to have a woman in my life. It was
Unlimited cycle pressure!
a useless idea! I would never do such a thing! Share my abode with a woman! Plus, she'd add more P to the game. I didn't want to have to fight more monsters just because of her. So then, I'd call it good. I'd call it a night. Watching the sunset and going to sleep again. It was the start of a new day. The sky was looking pretty clear. And you know, things were starting to look up for us. I think it was time to relieve myself a little bit and get ready for our next big adventure. You see, it was about time that we actually left the base and traveled to a new area that might make us feel a little uncomfortable. I had to get answers. And I kept getting these weird coordinates and maps. It all had to mean something. So it's time to set off and actually figure out what this story was going to turn into. Was I going to find my rifle-toting friend? Was I going to get a gun? Was there a point to any of it? And so we traveled. Looking back, I think it's been a very peaceful few days, and I don't think the world was ready for me, really. I had this strong baseball bat and a mission, and I was ready to destroy anything in my path in order to accomplish my goals and loot every single house. That's probably why I was actually really getting attacked, 'cause I was actually just looting every single house I could see. I even looted storefronts, gas stations, just anything that had a thing in it. It was mine. And I promptly took it. After a quick looting run, I figured it was time to try to decipher how this little GPS and these coordinates worked out. And it took me a second at first, but I think I was gonna make some headway. I started to follow the tracker, and things couldn't go better for me because I liked looking at numbers. And then the hives! There were hives! That's why there were bugs everywhere! I was literally fighting for my life every time I was looting because these stupid things. And there were hives? I was gonna destroy it. I was gonna destroy every hive. I own this place. They can't take it over. It's mine. I'm the one who manifests the destiny. Me! And so I destroyed the hive. They can't take me. They can't take my loot. And speaking of loot, I'd go right back to looting after. Now, I was still on my destination trail. I was gonna follow the little coordinate thing, and it was gonna take me to some new areas. Like, I didn't know this lake was here, and then I crossed it. And this house, I was gonna search it a little bit, not fully, but I was gonna look at it, just kind of get a gander. Then I found this, and it looked like I was gonna have to go swimming. It was even dark. And on the other side, combat. See, I knew I was going the right way because every time I was actually going in the correct direction, I'd be attacked by these punks, and I was gonna have to put them down. I can't just let them push me around. And I didn't want to risk my base being overrun by these punks. Wrong streets, buddy! Wrong streets! You think you can fight me with a street sign on top of that? Look at this little glitchy guy. You think you can just fly away? No, it's too late. You're going down! And with that out of the way, it was back to traveling. We were gonna huff it by foot, and the weather started to rain. It was raining tears for all my fallen victims. But I didn't feel bad. I had too much on my mind. I was longing for that sweet, sweet release of finding my destination and not having to go across an entire world map to get there. I know it's a naive thought, but a man can dream. And obviously, I probably could have brought the go-kart. I was just being stubborn. I knew that unrefined P would be risky, and I wasn't ready to risk it yet. But I was just holding off. I think I could have built the P refinery by the time I got home. So, in the meantime, it was trying to find that destination, get some sweet loot along the way, and hope that when I got home, I could build the P refinery and have an infinite source of fuel. And then I discovered some campers. Now, normally I play some fun battle music here, but I don't care. They're gonna die a chill death. Wasn't that a relaxing murder? And then this guy tried to run away. Look at him. And then he shot at me. I didn't realize he had a gun until he shot at me, and this is the most relaxing gunfight I've ever seen. Look at him. Oh, he's still flopping around. He was going for a while. And of course, we looted their camp. We didn't find much, and then we walked to our destination. And there it was. Our next big clue. Oh my fucking god. I had to walk all the way back to that house. The one where we found the go-kart, because our next destination was behind it. Our little buddy that stole our gun and the RV and crashed the RV or ran out of gas or whatever he did with it, he's kind of a jerk. Making us walk all the way to one spot just to give us a note, to make us walk all the way back to another spot just to walk back to the original spot we found the note. I don't even want to save this guy. I want to punch him. The whole point of me finding him now was revenge. We're vengeancing. We're no longer trying to find our buddy because we're mad that he left us. We're trying to find our buddy because he's the worst. He even stole our RV to begin with, and we had to go out into this dangerous world, constantly looting, constantly fighting, and constantly reinforcing. Because this guy, he just decided, I'm going to take the RV and just ruin everybody's fucking day. Am I right? Everybody's day is ruined, and it's all this guy's fault. So, I made my way back towards home, because I had a new plan. I was gonna have to fortify my base more, and it was gonna take some willpower to really just hoof it all the way to the next area. So I figured I'd distract myself by thinking of things to fortify and improve, and that started with, well, I was going to have to cut down every tree in the area to open up my sight lines of all of the neighboring buildings. I wanted to know if monsters were coming as soon as they were spawned in. In order to do that, I was going to have to create more sight lines from the windows, and that was the new plan. Chop down every single tree. And I'll be back in a second. I'm just going to let this montage play out. A nice, refreshing beverage after a long day's work. Now, I think it'd be time to do a little bit of base improvements, or at least figure out what I was going to be doing next. The day was starting to get closer to the ending, so I'd check and see my progress, and from the looks of it, I was no closer to my pea purifier than I thought I would be after a long day of looting and constructing and cutting down trees. So I just fortified the second floor some more to further reassure myself that bugs weren't going to attack me in my safe haven on the second floor. See, all those like walking people, they're going to have to go through my front door, and the bugs had just been flying in willy-nilly whenever they wanted, and I needed a way to slow that down a little bit. So the goal was now just board it all up. I then decided I also needed some more storage space, so I built another chest. And then I got rid of all the pee that I had. All of it. There was quite a bit. The fog meter had gone down quite a bit, and everything was starting to look more clear. I was getting better sight lines, and it didn't seem like my base was totally horrible. And you know what? I still had time to wander around, so I figured why not? I was going to try to find plants. My goal was blueberries, because that's what you needed in order to build the clock, but I wasn't really having a lot of luck in finding those said blueberries. I'd find other things instead, like more hives. The bug menace had to be stopped. It was my real threat. They were the first thing to ever attack me since day one. And every dead hive is a good hive. I can't have living hives nearby my base, and these guys were actually fairly close enough to actually be concerning. Now, I also discovered that there's an exhaustion feature. It was the first time I was actually experiencing stamina failure in this game, was against these onslaughts of bugs from these hives that I was just trying to destroy to make my living situation that much safer. And when I finally killed them all, I figured I'd walk around some more and take a deep breath. I found some dandelions, and it turned out that was all I needed for now. I'd put away all that, get some pee out of my system, and, you know, maybe just one more little quick peek. Just one little tiny little quick peek right there. I'm gonna look at one more thing, and we'll see what happens next, you know? I mean, look at all my good work so far. The blood pools and spatters. I was doing great at keeping this place safe. And even the fish didn't want to mess with me. It was great. And then I thought I heard a helicopter. And I saw it in the tree line. The pea sacks. The flying pea sacks. They could get close to my house? They could get close to me? I was genuinely terrified of the prospect of seeing what those things were actually capable of. So I rushed home and I figured I'd just call it a night. I was safe in there and those things were way too big to fly into my windows. So I was just gonna close up. I'd take refuge and think about all the things I've seen and, you know, just because I figured I'd just get one glance at the sunset in the sky, because this might be one of the last peaceful nights I get. And I then chained up the window. It still had vision, so it was mine, and it was another layer of protection, so it made sense. And I watched the sunset. Think about life. Think about the love I lost. Think about how much I hate pee. And I was gonna come up with a plan for what I was gonna be doing the next day. I think I'm gonna actually just go out and wing it, you know? I know that, like, there's more to this world than currently I'm surrounded by. It's big. Those towers showed lots of stuff, and I should be out there exploring more. Maybe I will find a gun. I've been accumulating ammo this whole entire time. I know you didn't see it, but, like, in those chests, so many bullets. And, yeah, I need an opportunity to use it. I mean, those nests aren't going to kill themselves. And what if I find another Thickums? I guess we'll have to find out tomorrow.